Hello. Today we're going to be talking about Objective 11, which is the greatest common factor. So when you think of a greatest common factor, you think of the biggest thing that they all have in common. So when we're looking at algebra and you're looking at polynomials and trinomials and you want to try to figure out what is the largest number that you can take out each of the individual pieces. So for example, let's take a look at this. If we have 4x cubed times y cubed plus 8x4y cubed minus 12x squared y to the fourth. So we're going to take a look at all these and we're going to figure out what is the GCF, or the greatest common factor, that we can take out of each one of these. So take out of that one, and this one. All right, and then that will be defined as our greatest common factor. So to do this, I'm going to encourage you to break apart. So break apart the numbers and then the x's and the y's. So bucket them kind of together in like categories. So if you take out the 4, the 8, and the 12, what is the greatest number that comes from these? So I would invite you to try to remember how to do your prime factorization of numbers, because this really helps you in getting to the largest number that you can take out of all of them. By looking at these, you can probably see what the number is, but if you get in the habit of using your prime factorization, it'll help you going forward. So if we're going to take this down to prime numbers, 4 is 2 times 2. 8 is 4 times 2. And then that is also 2 times 2 times 2, or 2 cubed. And up here, 4 is 2 squared. So now let's take a look at 12. Well, 12 is 4 times 3. 4 we know is 2 squared times 3. So now we're down to all prime numbers. So when you're looking at the prime factorization, the exponent of the lowest value is as high as you can go. Here we have 2 to the squared, 2 cubed, and here we have 2 to the squared. You can't take a 2 cubed out because you don't have 3 of them in 4, but you only have 2 of the 2's, so you have 2 squared. Well, you can take 2 squared out of 2 cubed because you'll have an extra one. So 2 squared, or 4, is your greatest common factor of the numbers. Now let's take a look at the x's. We have x cubed, we have x to the fourth, and we have x squared. Again, the largest number that we can take out of those is the exponent of the smallest value, and that's x squared. So we know that x squared. Now, let's take a look at the y's. So we have y cubed, we have y cubed again, and we have y to the fourth. So our lowest one are cubes, and we have 2 of them. So we know that y cubed. So in this example, our greatest common factor then that can come out of each one is 4x squared y cubed. Now, whenever you do that, you want to take out, and your answer will be 4x squared y cubed. And then if you want to take it out of the original problem that you have, what are you left with? So we have 4x cubed times y cubed. If we take out a 4, we have 1 left. X squared, so we have 1x left, and y cubed, we have 1, which we don't have to denote. So plus 4, 8, so 4 times 2 is 8. X squared, we have x4, so we're left with 2, and then y cubed, we don't have any y's left, minus 4 out of 12 is 3. 4 times 3 is 12. X squared, we don't have any of those left, and then y cubed, well, we have y to the fourth, so we have 1y left. So then that would be your answer that you have. So now let's take a look at another example that we have. What if you were asked to find the greatest common factor of 6x minus 5 times 4x plus 3 minus 4x plus 3 times 3x minus 7? So here you're going to want to look at your binomials. So you have a binomial times a binomial and a binomial times a binomial, but do you have anything in common? Well, yes, if we look, we see 4x plus 3 is on each side. So if we take out 4x plus 3, we have 4x plus 3, and we're going to then be left with, well, if we take out 4x plus 3 here, we're left with 6x minus 5, then minus, and over here we take out a 4x plus 3, we're left with 3x minus 7. Notice I put those in brackets because we removed a 4x plus 3 from both, so you need to keep your binomials in your parentheses because this negative, this subtraction right here, has to be distributed throughout this binomial. So that's going to make a difference whenever we actually simplify it here. So now we have 4x plus 3, and now we have times 6x minus 3x is going to be 3x. And then you have a negative 5 minus a negative 7, which is negative 5 plus 7, which is plus 2. And then this is your answer. So the greatest common factor here in this example is your 4x plus 3. And then whenever you finish solving for it and you take it out, this is then what your answer is. Thanks. Hope you enjoyed this video.